Oh, hey, what's up? TheGARV here. Hey, I was just typing a thank you letter to ABC News. They've offered me the anchor position, but I had to decline because it would take too much time away from MMA. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, Garv, why are you typing with your nose? Now, that's a very good question. You're very astute. And the answer is, I'm so excited about UFC 79, I can't contain myself. So as a precaution, I'm handcuffed to this chair so that I'm not a danger to myself or anyone else. And the handcuffs were actually Paris Hilton's idea. She happens to be staying over for the weekend and she brought a pair with her. So anyway, my nose is a little sore from typing. I guess this will be a good time to take a break and talk about some of the fights coming up at UFC 79. First fight keeping me awake at night is Sokaju versus Lyoto Machida. Now, Soko is loco. The guy's insane. He obliterated Little Nog, and when he did, people were saying that it was a fluke. And then he fought Ricardo Arona, and Awimawa, Arona slept that night. And all of a sudden, it wasn't a fluke. And now Soko is fighting Lyoto Machida. But there's a big difference between Machida and Nog and Arona. Nog and Arona came right at Soko. Nog tried to walk right through him, and Arona was hell-bent on the takedown. But that's not Machida's style. Machida's going to try to counterpunch. He's going to try to control the tempo and the rhythm of the fight. And his style is not very exciting, but it's technically masterful. And the question in this fight is, will Machida's discipline and patience be able to overcome Soko's, aggressive, wild lion style? And there's always the possibility that Soko will knock out Machida early, but I do think that's the long shot. And if I have to choose, I'm going to have to pick Machida by decision. The Iceman versus the Axe Murderer. And all I can say about this fight is, my God, this fight. I've been waiting for this fight for years. For many a long year, I have dreamed of this fight. And now that it's finally here, I'm beginning to lose my mind. All right, I'll give you an example. Like I said, Paris Hilton is staying over, and last night we were, getting busy. And then at the height of passion, she starts screaming out Chuck Liddell and Wanderlei Silva's names. And I'm like, hey, Paris, you're with TheGARV now. What's up with you screaming out Chuck's and Vandy's name? And she's like, hey, Garv, that wasn't me screaming their names out. That was you. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, that was me. You see how crazy this fight is making me? So who's going to win? Well, on the one hand, Silva's style seems tailor-made for Chuck Liddell. Silva likes to come straight at his opponent, and Chuck is at his best when he's counterpunching. But in this fight, I think Silva's just bringing too much power. Chuck has made a career out of taking punishment. He'll take everything you have early to knock you the fuck out late. But I think Wanderlei is just going to bring too much power early to Chuck, and by the time Chuck is ready to take Wanderlei out, Wanderlei is already going to have taken him out. So I hate to see either one of these guys lose, but I'm picking Wanderlei Silva by a brutal knockout. GSP versus Matt Hughes. Man, I was bummed out when Matt Serra got injured and had to pull out of the fight. I mean, I fell into a deep depression. I couldn't get out of bed. And I have to admit this, but I'm ashamed to admit it. I took it out on my kid.
Dad, please don't sleep all day. Get up.
Get the hell out of here!
But then I heard that GSP was replacing Matt Serra. And it was like I was reborn.
Dad, GSP is fighting Matt Hughes.
What's that? GSP is fighting Matt Hughes? I'm alive! I'm alive! Because this is the rubber match. And you know that Matt Hughes is hungry for revenge. He got dominated last fight, and it bugs him. And he's going to want to dominate GSP in this fight. And I think GSP's game plan is pretty obvious. He's going to try to shrug off any takedown attempts. He's going to try to keep it on the feet and destruct and destroy. And the question is, will Hughes be able to get this fight to the ground where he can do his patented ground and pound? Tell you the truth, I don't think so. I think you're going to see a continuation of the second fight into the third fight, and I'm looking for another dominating performance by GSP. All right, and guys, now I gotta get back to typing this thank you letter because typing with your nose kind of takes forever. You know what I mean? So, peace.